On this episode of CuestaDos. David's over there. I'm over here.
And I start out with a different webcam before this. You'll see.
In the middle of the show, he has technical difficulties, and he saves it pretty well. It's pretty good. But we have another blend of non-sports sports again today, so it was pretty fun. We start off in the gaming world. We talk about how stupid the PlayStation 5 and Xbox look, the new Xbox.
I'm going Wi-Fi router.
Then we jump into the new Crash Bandicoot coming out, which is going to be fantastic. If you grew up a Crash fan, you're going to love this one. Then Dave and I get super nerdy. We talk about the manga and anime that we both like and read because it is now okay to be a really weird, nerdy guy.
Yep, and that may continue.
Yeah, I probably will because we both like it and we both read, I think, daily.
Yeah.
Next, we talk about the noose that was hung in Bubba Wallace's garage, which thank God was not actually directed at him. We then talk about Major League Baseball coming back. Matt Santos was wrong once again. And lastly, Jamal Adams is dead to me.
You're very angry. That's what happened.
I'm angry still because we finished off and then we do this. I'm still pissed off. Anyway, without any further ado, hope everybody enjoys the show. What's going on, sports fans? Welcome to another exciting edition of CuestaDos.
Very exciting edition. We had some technical difficulties to start this. I am now using a webcam, so I'm going to be looking. If you see me trying to judge where I'm looking, it's because I'm looking at him talk and looking at you guys to talk. So it's going to be weird. It's going to be a weird thing to get used to.
And him over there is David.
Yeah.
I'm Alex. Both of our last names are Cuesta, hence CuestaDos, two Cuestas. If you haven't gotten it yet, that sucks. Anyway, there's the cough. I was waiting for it. There it is. We got the cough. We could start the show now. We're back. It took a while to get this show. It's a Friday night that we're recording where we're supposed to record on Monday. We suck.
Hey, man, you got some big things going on in your life, so it makes sense.
I do. There's a lot of big things going on. Once it's finalized and everything's good, we'll talk more about it. We're not jinxing it, Dave.
I'm just saying, man, it's understandable.
So anyway, so we have a lot of things going on. There's a lot of things going on in the world. There's a lot of things going on in sports. And we actually have some non-sports topics to talk about today, Dave.
It's because it's fun. There's not sports really going on, so you kind of need more things to talk about.
I mean, there isn't sports really going on. But we've had a full slate the last few weeks, so it's been pretty good.
Yeah.
But we're going to jump right into it now. We're going to have some fun. So we're going to start off making fun of things. PlayStation 5, Xbox, both of them have been out for a little while now in terms of what they're going to look like. Two next-gen consoles. Going to be expensive as always. They both look kind of ridiculous. Dave, are you going to get the mini fridge, as I've seen it called? Or are you going to get
with a Wi-Fi router?
The Wi-Fi router? I love the one someone made a picture of Cell from Dragon Ball Z.
With the
head. So which one do you prefer? Because I know you buy both systems basically now. Which one are you going to purchase first if you purchase?
Well, actually, I went 360 then PS4.
Okay.
PS2, 360, PS4. I'm probably going to go PS5, though I am going to want a desktop and a gaming computer. Or a desktop as a gaming computer. So I'm going to get the PS5 most likely, but I'm also going to work on a computer as well.
How do you feel about the designs?
Oh, I think they look incredibly stupid, but that's not. Listen, the thing I said about the PS5 is it looks like what Tesla thinks futuristic trucks look like. I think that pretty much sums it up. And I mean, I don't care too much about it, mainly because what it looks like doesn't matter. Is it loud? Is it going to play my game successfully? That's all that really matters.
My issue with PlayStation, Xbox at least did whatever the hell they wanted. They kept the controllers the same because the controllers have been like the favorite controllers besides the GameCube controller, which I think any gamer, that's their favorite controller, is the Nintendo GameCube. Xbox is a close second. And they've kept their controller and they just kind of were like, we're just going to, whatever, screw it, Cube. We're done. We don't want to design this. We don't care. We ran out of designs. We don't care. But then you have PlayStation over there going, what if an Xbox One and a PS4 had sex? PlayStation 5.
Well, it's not even that.
And the controller. The controller is completely a bite off of Xbox.
The controller, it's just fatter. It's the whole entire thing. I guess the people just didn't like that the DualShock was just the same thing every time, except the PS4 one just had a little touch thing in the middle.
Which nobody used.
Exactly. So they just said, we're going to make it a little fatter, a little more comfortable for your hands and shit and stuff like that. So, and the PS5 itself, it has like shades of like the PS4 and the PS3 in it. It's just really weird. It's like it's wearing a vest.
Or you
like it's wearing a really weird,
like one of the popes or cardinals. You can wear it as like a papacy.
Yeah, it's really weird. And you see the one that has the disc drive in it, and it's like they put the disc drive on the white part where it looks really weird instead of right in the middle where it can be like camouflage a little bit and it could look pretty cool. None of it makes a lot of sense, but as long as it can run my games, it doesn't break down within 6 months, it's not loud as hell, I'm cool with it.
Here's my question for PlayStation in general. Are we really supposed to stand all of our systems up? Who stands their systems up, really? Unless you have to. Like, it's cool that you can compact it that way.
Yeah.
But every time they sell their systems, the first one's always standing up. And then once you get the second generation, they always put it down horizontal, the way everybody else uses it.
Yeah. To be fair, a lot of the times to why we put it down horizontal is because putting a disc in standing up is really, really annoying.
And it drops sometimes. Like you'll sit there and you'll drop.
You don't want to mess with your disc. But with the PS5, I mean, they have the digital only edition, so it makes sense to stand it up. It can be a little more friendly to shelves and stuff like that, and being able to fit a lot of things in it. So I get it now. It makes more sense now that you don't need to try to finagle your way to make sure the disc doesn't fall and it's correctly in a disc rack.
Well, I think it's even friendlier if you wait 6 months and they just come out with the slim edition, because it takes about 6 months to a year. They cut the price in half and they sell a slim edition of a single system.
That's true. I mean, I just find it fun. That Nintendo Switch is literally just a little screen. That's all the console is. I mean, it's nothing high powered. It's nothing like that. It's just fun. That's all that console is. And it's such a weird difference between Nintendo and then the other big gaming corporations, because
Nintendo sticks to the handhelds. It's what they've been really good at. You know, the Wii was okay and it lost its luster. The Wii U was kind of a dud. They haven't had a great system like GameCube. If you
the Wii is technically, I think the Wii is technically one of the best systems, one of the most selling systems of all time, because of how revolutionary it was.
Because of Wii Sports, everybody wanted Wii Sports.
Not even Wii Sports. When the commercials first came out, and the two business guys came up to the door and said, "We would like to play." Everyone wanted that. Everyone wanted to feel that motion control that we had, and it was a lot of fun when it first started. And I mean, the games are still good. The games are still fun that they had and that worked properly. But of course, it lost its luster in the Wii U, which I give the Wii U credit because it was the predecessor to the Switch. If they didn't think of that in the first place, maybe it doesn't happen. But the Wii U it was a continuation and it wasn't even that good.
Yeah, no. But all right, so I'm probably getting neither because I don't play video games anymore.
That's fair.
Because I'm an old man with 2 kids and 93 podcasts to produce. So I have no time for anything. But Dave, speaking of buying things, there's a game out and a series.
It's not out.
It's coming out, but a series that me and you both love. I kind of got you into this with being 8 years older. You watched me play the originals.
Yes.
Talk about one of our favorite games, Dave.
So October 2nd, 2020, that's the release date so far. Crash 4, it's about time. So if you guys play games, you know of the games that have come out recently, you know that Toys for Bob remastered the original Crash trilogy.
Yep.
It's a fantastic remaster. Did the same for Spyro, did the same for Crash Team Racing. They do very well at those games. And now they're making a completely new Crash game. And it's hard for me not to put their faith in them because of how well they did with the first 3 Crash games. You have to understand the games in order to actually make them look good and still play well.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me not to put my faith in them. Plus, they're kind of rewriting everything. They said, screw everything that happened in the rest of Crash because it got a little off the rails. And they said, we're going to go directly after 3. This is now going to be our canon. And it looks really fun. I think they can have a lot of fun with this. I think blending some kind of modern gaming and how some modern gaming works with Crash will do it a lot of good, especially since they know how to keep it to the Crash style.
Yeah, if they want to keep Crash fans happy, you still need to spin really fast to hit things. You have to be able to flip and break things, and you need your Ooga Booga.
Yeah, and the depth
plus
perception.
Your bonus riding levels. Your bonus riding levels are a must. If you have those 4 things, you can do whatever the hell you want after that. As long as those 4 elements are there, it's a Crash game.
Yeah, and the depth perception needs to be really weird too, because that's always what Crash is. You're never entirely sure where you are sometimes, but that's a Crash game.
So terrible when you would like go to like jump onto something and the screen would flip and go 2D, and then you had no idea where the hell you were, and you fell and you died 9 times.
But that's the Crash game. I can't wait.
They had to have the epic chase scenes too. Like Crash has cool elements about
it.
They
show it. They show it. They have a dinosaur chase scene. They show it in the trailer. Like they have these things already. You could see it in the trailer. That's cool. Tell you, go watch it. It looks like a lot of fun.
And the funny thing is, besides the different character designs, the different level designs, the gameplay didn't change very much from 1, 2, and 3. They added some things. They added the slide. They added the slide jump. They added some different things. Yeah. But in terms of the elements of Crash, like Spyro got a little different. Spyro, it evolved, and there was some different really mechanics. Even when you go back to Sonic, the only one I could say that kind of stayed the same and had a lot of success was Mario. Every Mario game was kind of similar based. You got your jumps. Unless it was a specialty game. A specialty game had different things.
The problem is with that is that Super Mario 64 literally started the 3D platformer.
And it's still possibly the best 3D platformer of all time.
I disagree. I would say Odyssey beats it. You haven't played Odyssey. You don't know.
I don't care.
You don't know.
But overall, I'm just saying in terms of success with Mario, you're going to jump on things, you're going to kill them.
Yeah, and you'll get special powers from suits.
You lose it, you get a mushroom, you grow, you can gain special powers.
Yep.
They haven't reinvented the wheel. And as long as they do that with Crash is kind of an evergreen game too. So you're going to be able to do, if they do that with Crash properly, PlayStation's mascot's back.
Oh, 100%. I can't wait. Well, actually, he's coming out for Xbox too, so.
Yeah, but he will always be PlayStation's mascot. If there is no Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, there is no success of PlayStation. Those 2 games specifically pushed PlayStation so far over.
That is very fair.
It's been really good. So we want to add an extra element to the show. We are certified nerds, and David and I both grew up watching anime, evolved into reading manga. So we're going to kind of throw that in here because there has been a lot more people that are willing to say that they enjoy this stuff now, in terms of celebrities, basketball players, athletes in general, are so much more willing to talk about their influence that anime and manga has had on them in terms of pop culture, even in the United States, has gotten big. So we feel comfortable, which is cool, kind of talking about this. And me and you have always been comfortable talking about this to our peers. I've never been shy about the fact that I was an anime fan. Yeah. You've never been shy about it. We both tell people we read manga and people look at us weird. It's like, you read comics, shut up. It's the same thing. But ours just needs to get translated first. Leave us alone. But so we're going to kind of maybe weekly, bi-weekly, depending on what's going on, talk about anime and manga a little bit. Yeah. So David reads and ingests manga at an unbelievably crazy speed.
At times. I get
so he's always moving on to more things. I'm kind of more of a snail, but the difference between Dave and I are, Dave jumps around.
Yes.
Dave has ADD.
I don't stick to one for very long.
That I have got into, and now I wait for the releases as well as on the interim reading some completed ones. So it'll be interesting, I think, to hear, because me and David, I don't think are current on the same ones at all.
No, not even close.
So, Dave, for everyone out there, what are you currently reading? Is there any manga you're currently reading actively, or any anime that you're currently watching?
So, I've been reading Gameran.
Oh, quickly aside, for those that don't know, if you're under a rock, anime and manga are both from Japan. Yeah. Anime is Japanese animation. They have their own style. It varies because every single writer, animator has different ideas. They are mostly some of them are solo. There are solo anime, and they come up more and more now.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them are based off of manga in different publications, and they usually try to follow that.
Yeah, and those are usually based off light novels. So.
Yep, and manga is basically Japanese comics.
Yes.
So go ahead, Dave. Sorry.
I've been mainly reading Gameron or Gameron. I'm not entirely sure how it's pronounced.
Probably Gameron.
It's probably Gameron. That's why I said that. But it's about samurais. It's really fun. It's a shonen. Shonens are actions. And it's just
actions for teenage boys. They're directed at teenage boys specifically.
That is true.
Yep.
But I think it's a lot of fun. It has similar protagonists to what you know from some anime.
Yep.
But I think it's a really good one. I think it really emphasizes how good the genre can be. And I mean, I do want to talk about one that I've watched recently. That the first season's over, the second season's going to come out.
Go ahead.
I implore everyone to watch it. I've been telling you to watch it. The Promised Neverland. I guarantee you enjoy it. It's not an action. It is a very tense anime, and I love it.
The last manga anime that you really pushed me to watch was Mirai Nikki, Future Diary. And I'm scarred for life. If you're listening out there, everybody, please go watch it so we can all yell at David because he started this.
I wouldn't even tell them to watch it. I just wanted you to watch it.
So what I'm reading, I'm actually current on a bunch. Dragon Ball Super, which David's a weeb and hasn't gotten to read all of the Dragon Ball stuff yet because he sucks.
Sure.
I'm current on Kingdom, which Dave put me onto, and then he fell off.
That's because I was at the latest chapter, and then I didn't want to wait for it to be updated.
Well, in terms of Dragon Ball, if I had to explain Dragon Ball, I'm sorry. If you don't know what Dragon Ball is by now, I apologize. I'm not going to explain it. Kingdom is based off of ancient China and the warring states during like a 500-year period where they were constantly in war. And it's about the king and his basically best friend general that helped him achieve it. It's basically is loosely based off the history where you can point to every general and character in there and find them in history. The names are changed. The city names are changed. But overall, it's a really cool style. Now, I'm current on it, but I'm also watching that anime where the first 3 episodes is some of the worst animation I've ever seen ever. And it gets better. So if you do like the manga and you eventually want to watch the anime, I recommend it. Just get past the first 3 episodes. It's terrible. But they tried. Other ones I'm up on, My Hero Academia. That is easily one of the, and everyone says it's one of the best around, the new ones that have come out. It is really it's one of those that it's not just because people say it's good that it's good. There's certain everything. Just because there's a herd that says it's good, everyone thinks it's good. No, this is actually legitimately one of the better manga I've ever read. Because they have so much dynamics to all their characters, and they build up so many characters at one time.
Yeah, and Deku's a little different. He's a little different.
He's different. He's becoming more of your typical shonen. Yeah. He's becoming OP, but that's his character. That's his power. That's his arc. Read it.
Yeah.
It's really good. And the last one that I'm completely up on is Attack on Titan, where holy shit. It starts off crazy, and it just gets crazier. You think it's straightforward. These giant things eat people, bad, cut their necks. And then it just goes in so many different directions that it goes into politics. It goes into morals. It goes into world logistics. It is just insanity. It's going, as long as they don't completely ruin the finish, whenever it finishes, it will go down as one of the best manga anime in the history of the genre. So
yeah, I actually completely fell off of Attack on Titan after I caught up on the manga, and I just never read it again because I just didn't want to wait. I will get back on it, I promise.
You're really missing out. Now, Dave, do you have any evergreen shows or manga that you kind of go back to that either you reread just because you're bored, just because you feel like it, or that have so many chapters that you're just kind of like, I'll put this one away. I know it's completed, but I'll put this in the back pocket, catch up on some others, and then come back.
Okay, so Soul Eater, I'll usually go back and read Soul Eater, at least a bit of it, because I just love Soul Eater. I love the art design. I love everything about it, honestly. It's one of my favorite of all time. Read it. Don't watch it.
You like Death the Kid.
I love Death the Kid, but I love everyone in it, honestly. The characters are so good, and it's such a fun. It's very lighthearted, but then it can really bring you down to the
They have a
depths of
character
what
that
you can
nobody
think
knows
of.
if it's a boy or a girl, and he has one of the funniest weapons in the history of
Well,
shows.
yeah, but that one also. I mean, you want to talk about dealing with like morals and things like that. Like Soul Eater gets to that,
Yeah.
and it does it in such a different kind of way. So I've always loved Soul Eater. Beelzebub, I think, is really fun. It's about this degenerate kid who's really good at fighting, and the baby demon really loves him, and that's what it is. He gets powers. It's a fighting manga. I love Beelzebub. Obviously, Dragon Ball. I always watch Dragon Ball and read Dragon Ball, and I mean DBZ abridged. I'll throw
Except
that on
Dragon Ball
sometimes.
Super. You apparently won't read Dragon Ball Super.
Oh, and my camera went widescreen. Very, very nice. Very nice.
Give it its command to go back.
I don't know if I can. So I'm just going to go to my computer camera.
We are having some more technical fun difficulties. Hey, Dave.
Okay, so that's fine because my webcam's going to run out of battery anyway.
So kind of the things that I kind of always go back to. So you got me into reading JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Oh,
I am now pillaging through that, and it's going to take forever because there's 900 plus chapters. I'm all caught up on Berserk. Even though Berserk is still technically going on, they release a chapter every like 17,000 years. So yeah. I'm caught up on that. Rurouni Kenshin is one that I've been trying to get you to read or watch forever.
I'll read it at one point.
And it's one of my favorites, and I do go back and constantly basically go back and reread that. Mm-hmm. Dragon Ball, you mentioned. Yu Yu Hakusho is a classic that I like to go back and reread.
I did actually read Yu Yu Hakusho recently.
Now, in terms of ones that I watch, my favorite anime of all time is Catcher and Sins. And it always has been. It's the weirdest one. No one else, I don't think, likes it besides me. Mm-hmm. But I love that. And I think my other favorite that I go back to all the time is Trigun. It's short, it's sweet, but it's amazing.
It's funny.
So that's kind of a synopsis. I think we can get a little more in depth now that we kind of gave our little tidbits onto what we like, what we watch. Obviously, we like some action.
Yeah.
Next time we come around to this, I think we can handle this in a different way. Maybe we can talk about, one that we each like and recommend and kind of go in depth, and maybe talk about certain ones that we recommend to read and why we recommend you should read it. Maybe have some fun with that. Or if there's any news.
Yeah, we could definitely find something to do with this. I enjoy it. I mean, I could talk about it for a very long time. So, and I just don't feel like taking up too much time on a sports podcast.
Yeah, I hope no one turned this off. We are a diverse podcast with a sports
I'm sorry. A various topics podcast.
Kind of. With the sports base. Got to have with the sports base. We have mostly sports.
Yes.
So let's get back to sports now that we got done nerding out.
We're going to move on to something that did happen in sports. Talladega happened very recently.
Yes.
For those who don't know, it's a NASCAR event, very big NASCAR event. And something happened during Talladega. So a noose was found in Bubba Wallace's garage. I've heard it was the NASCAR president that found it first. I know you heard it was a crew member. One of us is incorrect there. I thought it was NASCAR president. But what I do know is that Bubba apparently didn't find it himself. So, and obviously everyone's shooken up about finding a noose in the garage. They did this whole thing. They pushed his car to the front. It was a nice gesture for Bubba. I keep looking up at the webcam like I'm still using it.
I see that.
Yeah.
You got used to it now. You were doing good.
Yeah, I know. And so it was a really nice thing. The FBI got involved to find out what the hell happened.
Well, yeah, because an actual noose is a federal hate crime. So that's why they were involved.
Exactly. So the FBI ended up coming out. They did a very quick investigation. It seemed to be very quick for them. And they said, okay, it is a noose. In all technicality, is a noose, but it seems to have been fashioned as a pull crank for the garage door. Now, for whatever reason, and it happened in October 2019. Now, for whatever reason that they tied it that way, I don't know. So far, I believe recently, after even the FBI came out, Bubba Wallace doubled down about it being a noose, which is correct. It was a noose. Now, a lot of the reactions to this have been very different. People have been calling him Bubba Smollett, which I completely disagree with.
That's wrong.
I completely disagree with that narrative. Jesse Smollett basically planned everything. So that's the whole thing. Bubba Wallace did not plan this. He did not want this to happen.
Nope.
The only fault I could find with him is that he doubled down, but he's also in a climate right now where it's very weird times. And I can understand where he's at and why he would double down. Do I completely agree with it? No, I believe it was a misunderstanding. It's fine to say this was a misunderstanding and we're still moving forward, which is what NASCAR said, and I believe what he eventually said. But my whole thing is, I do not believe that someone in October 2019 went and fashioned a noose in a garage that seemed to have pulled the garage down in order to threaten Bubba Wallace in October 2019 before anything with the Confederate flag happened. I just can't. I can't believe that someone would take this long-term event to do that. If they really wanted to threaten him, I feel like they would have made it very, very obvious they were trying to threaten him. For me, I'm just very happy that it became a misunderstanding and that it was not a direct threat at Bubba Wallace.
Yeah, I'm pumped that it was a misunderstanding. That's probably some of the best news we've gotten in a long time. Yeah. It is a very sensitive time. The Confederate flag has been pulled. Yeah. Bubba Wallace is standing up, and I think he, out of all the people that have been standing up and speaking about this, has been doing it in one of the best ways possible. This isn't to take a shot at any of the NBA players or any other athletes that want to sit out, but Bubba Wallace got with his sponsors, decorated a car, put it on one of the biggest stages weekly in the nation. Every single week, you are seeing Black Lives Matter. You are seeing change, him trying to make a change. He's speaking out. He has apparently looks everyone behind him. So he's using his platform in a great way. Yeah. So it's a sensitive time, and I get why the overreaction, and even it's a news, so it's not an overreaction. Yeah. But in terms of everyone around him kind of trying to rally and trying to make sure that this wasn't what it was. And thank God it's a misunderstanding. So to my issue with this, though, NASCAR, this is why we don't jump the gun. Marty Smith, this is why we don't jump the gun of ESPN. All the reporters looking to go and make a point of how virtuous and how woke and how great you are and how much of a great person you are because you're going to defend and you're going to condemn. You all look stupid. Period. Stupid. For NASCAR to come out and say this is heinous, we're going to kick out of the sport whoever did it. Who are you kicking out now? You look stupid. Instead of being measured and coming out and saying, we found what appears to be a noose. We understand this is a federal crime. We are going to work with the proper authorities. We are going to get to the bottom of this. And if this is a hate crime, it will be handled accordingly. Yes. That is all that's necessary. Now, I get part of it where NASCAR is up against the wall. They're perceived as a racist sport. So maybe it was a way of kind of trying to get ahead of it, take the bad PR later because we overreacted. But that's a terrible way. And they made it easier for everybody else to kind of jump on the train because they were so convinced that this news was directed at them. Now, the reason why NASCAR is also stupid, they know that these garages are assigned, number one, blind. They're not assigned a year ahead of time. It's the week before the race. Yeah. And number two, this was assigned according to your standings in the race season. So that wasn't like, it wasn't something like someone just walked up and said, oh, I think I'm going to give Bubba this one. No, there was specifically there based off of your standings. So there was no one that picked Garage 4, whatever it was, for Bubba Wallace. So with all of that being known, the only people that could have gone down there was either an official in NASCAR, a crew member, because I don't even think the other crew members with the COVID-19 situation are allowed in there.
They probably aren't,
Or the driver himself. So you just narrowed it down to probably your officials or one of his crew members, because I don't think Bubba's doing it himself. He's not Jussie Smollett. That is it. No. And you know what? And I'm going to call it out by name. The conservatives that constantly push this, shut up. You look stupid.
Yeah.
Flat out.
It's just like expanding on that real quick. It's just call it what it actually is. Like, it's not a Jussie Smollett situation. Bubba didn't plant it there himself. He didn't do all this. He didn't do this for whatever reason that Jussie did.
Did Bubba possibly take it a little too far, going on Don Lemon and saying it's unequivocally a noose and it was wrong, and that he, making it sound like he believes it was directed at him? Yes. And he came out in a statement and said it was a misunderstanding. It was emotion running high and things like that. All's fair.
Yeah,
What needs to happen here is it needs to be moved on. And I do not want to see the next time they race at Dega potential hate crime in Bubba Wallace's grass, because that's where they're going to go next.
Yes.
They're not going to say that it was an unfounded misunderstanding. They're going to say that it was a potential hate crime and blah, blah, blah. And also, to the people pointing that Bubba Wallace hasn't won a race and doesn't lead many laps, again, shut up. I hate when people do that. Just because they might not be at the pinnacle of their sport, automatically, they suck. You couldn't do anything like that. Yeah. The ones saying that have never been a professional athlete, probably never even played community college sports. So stop with knocking his performance and making his performance have anything to do with what just occurred.
Yeah.
So I think NASCAR looks stupid in the whole entire thing. I think the people look fine. The actual organization looks dumb. They jumped out ahead of this. And it made no sense with the way they came out against it, how hard, without knowing all the facts.
Yes. The thing is, when it comes to this situation, I do think we do need to look at this as a happy ending here.
Absolutely.
For it to be a misunderstanding.
Yeah.
That is a good thing. It is a very, very good thing for this to be a misunderstanding. Do not take it as a bad thing. It's a good thing that this wasn't directed at Bubba Wallace.
And, let's hope that down the future, because let's be honest, Bubba Wallace is the only black driver right now. So is it far-fetched for there to be somebody racist in NASCAR?
No, it's not.
Hell no. Just like in the NBA or NFL or any of these sports, are there racists probably walking around all the time in there? You're damn right there probably is, because that's unfortunately in our country, in the world, people feel that way. As long as they don't act on it and aren't being stupid and really, trying to make somebody's life miserable because of any reason, especially the color of their skin, I don't know. We just can't go looking for these issues like it seems like that was. They were looking for the issue to blow it up. And I'm happy it was a misunderstanding.
Yes.
All right. So that's not even a rant at the situation. It was a rant at stupidity of other things going on around the situation. But something that was stupid before and now potentially seems like it might not be stupid, but we don't know because it could still get stupid. Everyone follow me? Because I sure as hell not. Major League Baseball is coming back.
Going around.
Yeah, I'm just going around and around. Major League Baseball is officially coming back. Now, Dave, I need to point out Matt Santos, 0-2 on his predictions. We've had Matt Santos on twice around these types of situations. He first said basketball, the players are too pompous, they're not coming back. The players are the reason they came back. And this time, he said baseball's not coming back because the owners don't want to play. And the owners are the ones that came back and said, look, we're playing ball.
Hey, man. It's bad. Sometimes it's a bad day. That's it.
I kind of take back my betting aficionado status for Matt. He's on a cold streak with the lot right now.
You don't often bet on leagues coming back.
Is the XFL going to come back? If Matt says no, we're in good shape.
You know what? Yeah.
But overall, the league is coming back. Players and owners have agreed to, I believe it's a 60 game, 60 or 70. I don't know which one they got. Yeah. But we're getting baseball. I'm happy we're getting baseball. How many players do you think are going to sit out, Dave? Do you think we're going to be in a situation where a bunch of players sit out like we're seeing in the NBA and stuff like that?
I hope not. I really do hope not. I mean, I don't have any come out and say they're going to sit out yet. I don't think
yet. But what about like a Stroman or a Blake Snell or guys that were really against this?
Yeah, it 100% could happen. But then again, they could just say, you know what? I'm also just kind of bored, and this is going to give me money. So they could just do it, especially if MLB seems like they're taking all the precautions that they could possibly take. I think we'll see most of them play.
Now, I think part of the issue with a lot of people is baseball is forever long, 162 games.
Yes.
Are you potentially going to watch more games because it is shortened, because the implication on every game is a lot more important than it was when it was a massive? Is it more intriguing that it's a shorter season and each game counts more for you?
Possibly. I mean, I'll be working. I don't know when some of these games will be on. I hopefully they're not on too early, but I'll be working and then I have to wake up early. So I may be able to catch some. But yeah, no, there is an intriguing aspect to it being shorter and to each game mattering a little more.
Yeah.
Instead of like the mid-season lull of MLB where people
Mm-hmm.
drop off for a bit until the end of the season where playoff contention is at stake,
Yeah.
we'll see a lot more of viewership during the whole season this time.
Now, if this does end up being really good, if their viewership is really high, if, they're now going to compete against hockey and basketball coming back with playoffs, if they find that their viewership is bumped up, what do you think it's going to do for the next CBA? Do you think they're going to kind of push and say, listen, look at what just happened. The revenue shares can go through the roof. Let's cut the season in half and go 80. What are we doing here? Do you think we have a chance that maybe if this is a successful experiment, that baseball might get pushed to half the games?
I don't know. Baseball is such a we love our tradition sport that I don't think they could. I don't think they'll do that. I'm not going to lie to you. And I don't know. I don't know how exactly that would mess with their contracts and everything. So they're going to really have to think about that when the next time the CBA comes up. I don't see it happening. I see them just doing their regular full season. But I mean, you could think of it if this is an outstanding success.
Damn you, baseball. Oh, man. Dave, we can close it out with our favorite team.
You want to close it out with you being angry?
Oh, my God.
Because that's what we're going to do. That's
We're
exactly
both
what we're going to do.
So, if you're not angry, there's something wrong.
I guess I'm used to it. So the Jets are back in the news again for all the wrong reasons again. Jamal Adams seems like he's fed up with the Jets, put out a list of teams to be traded to. And this is all based off his contract and the extension he wants and the money he wants. And even though it seems like he said he would go to some other teams without the extension, I'm not entirely sure exactly what's going on there. But we're seeing obviously a lot of backlash from fans, a lot of people wondering what the hell is going on here. Because, I mean, Joe Douglas, Adam Gase, Greg Williams all said they want him back, all say they love him. And I can't see why you wouldn't love Jamal Adams, other than the fact that he seems to get a little annoying about some things, but the passion's there. See, the thing is, you're going to become annoying about things when you're that passionate and you love getting at things so much. So I disagree with how he's handling this. But I mean, as a Jets fan, I'm just kind of used to this offseason shenanigans and things that happen. I mean, I still believe in Joe Douglas. I still think he did very well in the draft, and I still think he'll treat this the right way. But it's a little upsetting to see, especially since Jamal Adams basically said through thick and thin he was going to be a Jet and he was going to stick this out with us to be a winning team.
So what I found out about Jamal Adams is the only thing he's passionate about is money. I don't give a damn what type of talent he has, what type of work ethic he has. All he cares about is money.
Okay.
And he's one of the players that have great talent, but if he's going to take this much money and wants this much money, goodbye. And what really set me off with him, I've been one of the guys that have been saying Douglas is going to make it happen. Maul's going to stay. Yeah. He's going to stay. He ain't going nowhere. This is business. He's just doing business. He's trying to pin it.
I fully believe that too.
And even when he let out the list, I was like, all right, whatever, that's a threat. You know what pissed me off? Going to Dallas and then tweeting to Dallas fans, I'm trying to make it happen. Screw you. I don't want him in green and white anymore. I don't want him here. If he comes back, I'm not a 33 fan. I'll be happy if he wins us games. I'm not a fan of the guy. I am not a fan of Jamal Adams anymore. Because you know what? You don't owe anything to the fans. Players, and I know fans always get like something uppity. You don't owe anything to us. But you also don't get to shit on us. Like, it's a double edge there. You don't owe us anything, but at the same time, we are the reason you exist. Without fans, there ain't no game. Go play in the CFL if the NFL crumbles. Like, see what you make there with the Alouettes. Enjoy. But that's what set me off. You could put your lists out. You can even say, I'll go to certain teams without an extension. That is all the business side of it. But when you basically throw your nose up to us, who have stuck with the Jets and how terrible they've been, and have had your back, I feel like most fans have had Jamal's back.
We really, I think we
with
have.
him being stupid and wanting an extension with 2 years left that nobody wants. Nobody gets that. You know what? Because I'm sorry, Jamal, you're not in a position of power. You're not in a position that we need to pay and we need to lock up in order to win games.
Mm-hmm.
That you're not a Super Bowl change. You are a changing player, but in terms of your position, it's not utmost importance.
Mm-hmm.
That's what set me off with him. And that, for me, I don't want him. I don't care if he becomes a Ring of Honor member. I will not respect Jamal Adams anymore. I can't do it. I can't do it. You want to sit there? I watch the games faithfully every single week. No shot. No shot. I hope we get rid of him, and I hope Ashton Davis becomes 10 times the player he does. Goodbye, Jamal. Go to the Lions. Go be terrible. Finish your career with the Lions. Let Matt Stafford retire, be a part of a rebuild, be stuck there, or go to freaking the Redskins, play with Collins, go suck. I don't care. I don't want him there anymore. I don't care about the guy anymore. Goodbye. And you know me, I'm not going to turn this around. I don't care. Jamal Adams is dead to me. 33 is not a jersey that is on the Jets anymore.
Listen, that is fair. And I mean, a lot of things happened during your rant. My webcam turned off and you heard that. The power flickered and that got a little scary. But a lot of things happened during that rant, especially like the anger you got. It's like the worse it was getting over here. But I understand it completely because it does, and especially through everything we've been with and how much Jamal seemed to have our backs and to really be, he really seemed like he really wanted to be a lifelong Jet for a good amount of time. And we haven't seen that out of a lot of people. So us Jets fans are a little thirsty for that. So to have that happen, to tell Cowboys fans I'm trying to make it happen, I can definitely see why that would piss you off so much. I guess I'm just kind of numb to everything. I mean, I don't love the guy anymore, but I don't entirely hate him as much as you do.
I can't stand him.
I'm not what?
I can't stand him now.
No, it's fair. And like I said, that's fair. I'm just kind of used to it. I'm just hoping we get this resolved soon. We don't need this in our offseason. Either get him traded or keep him and make him sit out, do whatever. I don't care. If Ashton Davis can come in, fill the role, that's fine.
You know, and for me, it has more to be about a man. Don't seem real and then be fake.
Mm-hmm.
That's fakeness to me. Mm-hmm. You've been all talking, the Jets this, Jets that, blah, blah, blah. I'm a green and white. I'm going to do. And then at the drop of a hat of adversity, you want out. You're telling other fans you're going to go to, screw you, go. We don't want you. Because you know what? The great pillars of every other team have all had their contract issues besides a few. Tom Brady's like an exception. Peyton Manning's an exception because they want to win football games, Jamal. But bottom line, they don't make these big deals. The guys that are the corners and cornerstones, the great players, aren't the guys that do this type of stuff. They do their business. They might have a holdout here or there, but they come back. There's never a doubt that they are going to be Jets some way or another.
Yeah.
That they're going to be a part of their teams.
Yeah.
You look at, Ray Lewis, all like the big guys. That's just how it is.
Mm-hmm.
If you are willing to sit there and it's so easy for you to go and say, I'm going to go to the Cowboys or something like that. And again, like I said, the business aspect of it, putting out a list of teams you want to be traded to, asking for a trade, this and that, that's the business side. I get it. I'm not going to rip you for that. The moment you sit there and you make it personal, us sports fans are personal. We bleed, we watch it. You just made it personal.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Fireman Ed. Fireman Ed quit when it got bad. Fireman Ed can go to hell. That's it. He's not our mascot anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how many games he's allowed to go back to. He's not our mascot anymore. He's not our super fan. He can go to hell as well. If you do that, you're gone. So Jamal Adams, I hope they give him double zeros. No more 33 because he's a zero. Don't care. Don't care if he has I don't care if he has the best season and ends up being a Hall of Famer. I hope he goes and decides to put a Cowboys jersey on. Even if he finishes as a Jets, go in the Hall of Fame as a Cowboy. Don't want you. Can't win with them. Can't play with them. Mike Singletary, if anyone remembers.
Yes, I do. All right. I really don't have much more to add. I kind of enjoyed the way you ended that.
All right. So for anyone listening, if you're listening, Jamal Adams, screw you. Come on my show so I can say that to you. Because I will. Because you're at Manish Metal level. Enjoy.
Whoa,
anyway. So this is another fun episode of CuestaDos. I get mad like I do every episode because I'm apparently a really angry guy, and this is like my venting session.
I feel like there's something about being behind a mic that it's just easier to get really into it.
God, it would honestly, and you know me, If Jamal Adams was in front of me, I'd still say it, and he'd whoop my ass.
He would.
That's a
No,
sophomore.
he would.
He would
You wouldn't even have a
beat the
chance.
hell out of me.
You wouldn't even have a chance.
I wouldn't even
It'd
get
be
to finish. Like, he's a physical specimen, and I wish he wasn't just such a jerk. I want to like him. I can't believe anything he says. I can't believe him anymore.
Yeah.
Even if he gets it done, he's like, I was always going to be a Jet. No, you're always going to be an idiot, and you got money. Leave me alone. Anyway, so he's David Cuesta. Don't get me going, Dave. He's David Cuesta. Find him on Twitter at dcuesta308, Instagram Cuesta-Cola.
Yes, sir.
Find me on Twitter and Instagram at _Cuesta30. CuestaDos doesn't have a Twitter or Instagram yet. I'm not going to give sports opinions one because that's just unfair. Go find it. Go search for it. Don't be lazy. Dave, any UFC fights we should be looking out for? I don't think I forgot about you.
Fight night tomorrow, Dustin Poirier versus Dan Hooker. That's going to be a good main event. I'm very excited for it. Two guys able to knock each other out, so that should be a lot of fun. Yeah. Not going to lie, I believe Mike Perry's fighting tomorrow. I can't remember the whole fight night card right now.
It's a fight night card, so a lot of guys getting first shots or guys getting redemption shots, girls, all that. So it's always interesting.
It should be a lot of fun. It should be a lot of fun. I always enjoy watching them. Also, some news. I may be starting a solo podcast. We will find out soon enough. It will be kind of boring in some ways. I'll give you that. I'll try to make it as exciting as possible, but it's going to be about books if I do it.
So we'll see if he Matt Santoses it and then says it and never does it. We'll find out. But again, everybody, CuestaDos, hope you enjoyed me yelling at things and getting very angry.
I did.
Have a good one, everybody.
Hope you enjoyed my webcam going nuts.
Bye, all.